But why did you endorse Donald Trump?
Well, you know, when I dropped out, my first choice went with me. But I said that I was, you know, I was going to remain neutral. But then I realized that, you know, the political establishment was aligning to protect their turf. And they don't like the idea of people who are not beholden to them and who cannot be controlled coming into Washington, D.C. And that was one of the reasons they didn't like me very much, but I was easier to get rid of than Donald Trump. I always say one of the ways that you measure a person is looking at their children. And how do their children act?
Well, one's a big game hunter. I'm not thrilled with that.
Well, I mean, that's your privilege. But the fact of the matter is, you know, they have been raised very well. They're very respectful. And, you know, I look at a lot of kids who come from very wealthy families, and I am appalled at what I see. So there is no perfect person, but what I think is really the worst thing that threatens our nation right now is a political class, a ruling class, and they are so threatened by anybody who is not beholden to them, they will do virtually anything. The nature of our country is at stake. We are on the precipice, and we are determining what kind of nation we're going to be. Are we going to be a nation that's upformed by the people or upformed by the government? This is a choice that we are making right now.
Okay, he said that there would be room for you in his cabinet, in his administration. Did he make any promises to you, and is that behind your endorsement?
No, not at all. And in fact, you know, we agreed that we want to save this nation, particularly for the next generation, and talked about a variety of ways to do it. I'm continuing to work on mechanisms of presenting ladders of opportunity that will allow the downtrodden in our society to climb out of a state of dependency. Right now, the programs that have been put forth by both Democrats and Republicans for the last few decades are doing nothing but creating more dependency. We've gone from a can-do nation to a what can you do for me nation. It's not a good thing, and it's not helping America, and it's not helping the world.
The best is yet to come.
The crime that was committed was a crime in that courtroom. Judge Marchand is a total, absolute disgrace to the American legal system. What we have to do in the Senate right now is get every single one of President Trump's nominees confirmed. We got to get Pam Bondi in there, Kash Patel in there. We got to make certain that they are allowed to do the job to restore the confidence of the American people in our legal system, because without that confidence, we can't go forward as a country in a meaningful way, the way we've been able to be so successful in the shining light of liberty to the rest of the world. People in Colombia look to places like America as the example. But when you see ridiculous, idiotic judges like Marchand, it's a disgrace to this country. It's an embarrassment to this country. And we got to get these guys out of office.
We've also had Secretary Mayorkas for a long period of time, I think, deceiving the American people by claiming that they had operational control of the budget or the border, and that they had control of it.
Migrants in the Darien Gap trying to cross a swollen river because it's rainy season. This is very, very dangerous, and this is how a lot of the migrants get killed. As a matter of fact, at the end of this video, what you'll see after this woman gets pulled out of the water, there's a man right here who is trying to help her, who goes into the water and falls and is washed away by the raging river, never to be seen again.
Or the border, and that they had control of it. And I don't think any of that is true. So what are the early plans for Homeland Security to try to clean up a department and agency that includes FEMA?
The idea that FEMA is running out of money is something that the leadership of the Harris administration has said. That especially if there's another disaster, they've said that they might have to go back to the well. And I think a lot of Americans are saying, well, how can we afford to give billions of dollars to illegal immigrants in this country, but we've got to go back to the well to provide disaster relief for our own citizens? That's a disgrace. Now, you know, the media is obsessed with, well, there's one bucket of money over here and there's another bucket of money over here. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that our own government is sending billions of dollars to illegal aliens when there are hardworking Americans. We got to focus on them. Focus on our American citizens who have had their lives destroyed by these terrible storms. That's what Kamala Harris ought to be doing, and it's a damn shame that she's not doing her job.
It includes the Secret Service. It includes the TSA. It includes you know, so many different departments and agencies, including all the different things, the different avenues of border. So what can you do from Homeland Security standpoint?
Well, the first thing you got to do is we got to get Kristi Noem in there. We got to get, again, Trump's nominees in there confirmed quickly. We got to get them in there by January 20th. They should be ready to go so that when President Trump's inaugurated, we have a full cabinet in place. That's the job of the United States Senate for the next 2 weeks. Then what they've got to do is they got to go in deep into these organizations and reform them. Now, what we have to do is, through legislation, stop these loopholes like asylum that allow people to cross the border illegally and then raise their hand and claim asylum. We have to end that ridiculous legislation that exists. Make it very simple. If you come into this country illegally, you're not caught and released into the interior of the country. You're immediately returned to the country where you came, and you're never allowed to claim asylum for the rest of your life. Look, we have to make it so that you can come here legally and zero tolerance for illegal immigration. And if you're in this country illegally, you're going to be deported very, very soon. You should make the plans before we're forced to get you out of this country.
Of this Trump
There'll be new faces and new voices.
The final chapter of Donald Trump.
I don't know what the future of this party can be.
The movement we started is only just beginning.
The entire system went after
Mar-a-Lago was raided by FBI.
New York indictment.
A sweeping indictment in
Donald
Georgia.
Trump says he's been indicted again.
I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear.
But he never stopped fighting for you.
I will never stop fighting for you, your family, and our magnificent country.
And we will win, win, win. We're going to win, win, win.
Thank you, President Trump, for fighting for us. The greatest political comeback in American history.
Donald Trump has been elected president.
Now, it's time we fight for you.
The golden age of America, that's what we have to